Hi students, I'm Dr. Bhavna. In this lecture we are going to deal with animal kingdom. So already in the last class we have started about animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom mainly, first there are numerous unicellular as well as multicellular organisms. If there is only single cell, it is called as unicellular organisms. If they have multi cells, numerous cells are present, they are called as multicellular organisms. Numerous cells are organized to form tissues. Numerous tissues are organized to form organ. The numerous organs together function to form organ system. So finally, based on this cells, tissues, organs and organ systems, numerous organisms in our animal kingdom, they are classified as cellular level, tissue level, organ level as well as organ system level. So which organisms are classified under cellular level? They are classified as sponges. They exhibit cellular level of organization. When it comes to tissues, this numerous ctenophores as well as coelentrates, they exhibit this property. When it comes to organ level, it is platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. Rest all organisms like annelids, numerous phyla, annelids, arthropods, numerous exhibit the organ system level. So you should be thorough regarding this, whether it is cellular type, tissue type, organ or organ system type. You should be very clear in that aspect, because numerous organisms are classified based on this organization only. So you all should be very clear. If you are like very not much clear, last class we have discussed. So go through in detail about that. So this is about the levels of organization. Next comes the diploblastic as well as triploblastic. This all I am revising. In the previous videos it is given clearly. So diploblastic means only two germ layers are present, that is ectoderm as well as endoderm. When it comes to triploblastic animals, then there are three types. Three germ layers are present. Diploblastic only two germ layers, triploblastic three germ layers. What are the germ layers which are present? When it comes to diploblastic, it is ectoderm as well as endoderm. Ecto and endo. When it comes to triploblastic, it is ecto, endo as well as mesoderm. Ecto, endo, mesoderm. A middle layer, a special layer is present, that is called as mesoglia. So mesoderm layer is present in that. So triploblastic. What are the organisms which are classified under diploblastic? Our cnidarians, that is coelentrates as well as ctenophores. These both will come under diploblastic. Simply they'll ask in NEET, which are the diploblastic animals? Then only one classification, C. That is coelentrates as well as cnidarians. They will come under coelentrates, ctenophora, which are classified under cnidaria. They will come under diploblastic. When it comes to triploblastic animals, numerous organisms will come under triploblastic. That is, suppose platyhelminthes, starting from platyhelminthes to echinoderms, numerous will come under triploblastic. So be thorough with the diploblastic. Simple classification here. Cells is sponges, the first phyla, that is Porifera. The second one is cnidarians, they are under tissue. The third is platyhelminthes, they are under organ. Rest all will come under organ system. Be thorough with the notes which I am giving so that it will be easy for you. When it comes to diploblastic as well as triploblastic animals also, it is similar. Like when it comes to diploblastic animals, only cnidarians are under diploblastic, rest all will come under triploblastic. So this is about the cellular level as well as which are diploblastic and triploblastic. Next, when we go deep, then there is the third level which is present. That is nothing but symmetry, we say, symmetry. So in the symmetry, basically there are three types: asymmetrical, bilaterally symmetrical, then radially symmetrical animals. When it comes to asymmetrical, that is, they cannot be divided into two halves in any plane. So the first one which comes under this is nothing but sponges. Sponges are classified under which phyla is nothing but they are classified under Porifera. So they are asymmetrical animals. When it comes to bilaterally symmetrical as well as radially symmetrical animals means what? They can be divided into numerous planes. In two halves they can be divided into how many planes we want. The body will be divided into two halves in any plane. So that will come under radially symmetrical. When it's bilaterally symmetrical, only in one plane you can divide them into two halves. So when it comes to radially symmetrical animals, the most common example which is given under radially symmetrical animals is nothing but cnidarians. Cnidarians as well as echinoderms. Only two. See, majority of the cnidarians are generally radially symmetrical as well as they exhibit diploblastic, the special feature of that. So you should remember it in thorough way. When it comes to bilaterally symmetrical animals, rest all the phyla will come under bilaterally symmetrical. That is, they can be divided into two halves in any plane, we can say. Only in one plane, but they can be divided into two halves. When it comes to radially symmetrical, numerous halves. Here the most important point that you should remember is bilaterally symmetrical means all the rest of the phyla. I am saying it in an easy manner because you can remember till the NEET exam. Only I am giving specific examples. When we come to diploblastic and triploblastic cnidarians, rest all are triploblastic. So that will be easy for you to remember. When you come to asymmetrical, bilateral as well as radially, asymmetrical means first phyla. That is sponges, only that you remember. When it comes to radially symmetrical, they are nothing but cnidarians as well as echinoderms. Cnidarians, both features it will exhibit, unique features for cnidarians. But when you come to bilaterally symmetrical, all the phyla were classified under bilaterally symmetrical animals. So this is about the symmetry classification. Next, when we come to notochord, notochord is nothing but a mesodermally derived rod-like structure which is absent in few organisms. If this notochord is present, they are called as chordates. If notochord is absent, they are called as non-chordates. Majority of the organisms, they all are non-chordates. That is, the notochord is absent. What is this notochord? It is a mesodermally derived structure. Mesodermally derived. And it is mostly seen during embryonic stage. Later, it will develop into vertebrae and all. So, basically the notochord is absent in non-chordates. It is present in chordates. When it comes to all the phyla are non-chordates. Later when we go deep, we will see about what are the organisms which come under chordates. So we'll go regarding that. But non-chordates, remember all the, that is from sponges till the echinodermata, all are non-chordates. Remember this point. From sponges to echinodermata. So this is about the notochord. As well as there is a special thing that is called as A body cavity is present between the body wall and gut wall. That is nothing but coelom. Suppose this is the body wall and this is the gut wall which is present. Between these two, there is coelom is present. Coelom. Body wall and gut wall, the coelom is present basically. If the coelom is present, they are called as coelomates. If the coelom is absent, they are called as acoelomates. If a mesoderm, this mesoderm only acts like a coelom, be thorough. If the coelom, that is the mesoderm only acts like coelom, then they are called as pseudocoelomates. So acoelomates, pseudocoelomates as well as coelomates. Now what is the classification that will come? Acoelomates, remember acoelomates means the most common example is Platyhelminthes. The phylum is nothing but Platyhelminthes. When it comes to coelomates, all of the phyla are coming under coelomates only. All phyla. Majority of the phylum. Acoelomates only Platyhelminthes. The phylum which are called as acoelomates, that is coelom is absent. Important neat question. Then it is nothing but Platyhelminthes. When it comes to pseudocoelomates, that is, if this pseudocoelomates in this pseudocoelomates, if that is absent, it is called as Asclepianthus. Asclepianthus, what are the organisms which come under Asclepianthus? Are nothing but roundworm, tapeworm, and all will come under this Asclepianthus. When it comes to Platyhelminthes, Taenia, tapeworm, as well as liver flukes will come under Platyhelminthes. Under pseudocoelomates, it is Asclepianthus. Only phyla which exhibits the pseudocoelom is Asclepianthus. Only phyla which exhibits acoelomate is nothing but Platyhelminthes. Important, these are the very important neat questions which are directly asked. So in this animal kingdom, there is a majority distribution for neat questions. So you all should remember very thoroughly regarding all this. So when it comes to coelomates, acoelomates as well as pseudocoelomates. So that coelomic classification is done. Now we are going to start, and in the last lecture I have given in detail a flow chart which are bilateral. Till now what we have done, everything we have done it in parts, right? So in the last lecture I have given the totally flow chart. If you read that flow chart, it is enough. So whatever the flow chart I gave you, which will come under bilaterally symmetrical, which are asymmetrical, which are pseudocoelomates, that all if you read that one simple tabular form, it will be very easy for you. So now we are going to start with the phyla, which is called as first phylum. Phylum Porifera. So under phylum Porifera, the first thing which you see is they are mostly marine organisms. Means they move in seawater. Mostly they are seen in water. They are marine organisms. Now which classification? Porifera means nothing but it is sponges. So they exhibit cellular level of organization. Next, they are which type of animals I have told you. Before all we have done this just now. So which symmetry they exhibit? Sponges exhibit a symmetry that is called as asymmetry. That is, they cannot be divided into two halves. In any plane they cannot be divided into two equal halves. So they exhibit a property which is called as asymmetrical. marine, cellular organisms. Next, the body of the sponges is like this. This body of the sponges, water will enter into it through numerous ostia which are present. Through numerous ostia, water enters into the body of the sponges. Ostia, remember. Through what it comes out? It comes out through numerous pores. They are called as osculum. Osculum, they will come out mainly. So, entrance is by ostia. Outside it is moving out through osculum. Be thorough. Numerous water will enter into the body through ostia. It will move out through osculum. So ostia and osculum, you should be very thorough. Next, where this water will enter? They enter into a body cavity that is present in the middle. That is called as spongocoele. Spongocoele. There should be some place to the water get deposited, right? So that is nothing but spongocoele. This spongocoele, middle cavity where water will enter and where water is stored, the body cavity that is present in the sponges is nothing but spongocoele. So in this spongocoele is lined by numerous cells. They are called as, the spongocoele is lined by numerous cells. They are called as choanocytes. Choanocytes. So choanocytes in this. And the other point to be easily remembered is, these sponges are hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites means what? Both the male as well as female organs are present in the same individual. That is, sexes are not separate. Both they are present in the same individual. So it is called as hermaphrodite. The important point now you should remember about three different forms. That is fertilization, development, as well as the stage. Which stage is exhibit? Fertilization is internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. I just want you all to write thoroughly what, because I am giving it in a points way so that you can easily remember and later there will be no confusion for you. And I made a notes to give you all. So just write down the important points wherever and go through in the last minute. It will be very easy for you. So they are marine, cellular, asymmetrical animals. First, cellular and asymmetry is very easy for you. You can easily identify. When it comes to hermaphrodite, that you should remember. Majority of the organisms are hermaphrodites. That is, both the male as well as female organs are present in the same individual. This point you should remember. For sponges also it is same. For hermaphrodite means both of them are present in the same individual. Next, when it comes to internal fertilization, the fertilization in sponges is internal. That is, it is not outside. It is going inside the body of the sponge. So that point you should remember. As well as it exhibits indirect development. Indirect development. Indirect development means what? It will go through numerous larval stages. That is, direct development is not there. It will take place through many larval stages. So it exhibits the property called as indirect development. After indirect development, it exhibits an important digestion is intracellular. Digestion takes place within the body of the sponge. So there are three I's to remember. I, letter I. You can remember like that. Letter I means internal fertilization it exhibits, indirect development it exhibits, intracellular also it exhibits. So these are the different important points that are related to that of Porifera, phylum Porifera. Nothing but sponges. So you should be very thorough regarding this. I'll say you it in an easy manner. First, which habitat it is present? So it is marine. Next, they exhibit cellular level of organization that we already have done. Asymmetrical organisms, that also we have done. The most important point here you should remember is hermaphrodite. That is, sexes are not separate. Both male and female organs in the same individual. Next, they exhibit internal fertilization. Internal fertilization, indirect development, intracellular. 3 I's you can remember like that. As well as numerous ostia are present on the body of the sponge. Numerous ostia means what? They allow water to enter it into their body, as well as the outside how they move by a process that is called as osculum. Ostia entrance, osculum outside. Then the body cavity that is present in the sponge is nothing but spongocele. Now where these spongocele are present, it is present in the middle of the body of the sponge. It is nothing but body cavity which is present. As well as this spongocele is lined by numerous cells. They are called as choanocytes. So this is about the phylum Porifera. The most common examples that is given is examples: Cycon, Scypha, Spongilla. Cycon is also called as Scypha. Here you should remember the scientific names because they will ask, but here for this phylum it is very easy for you because Spongilla, Cycon, Scypha, everything sponges, it is relating, but when you go to the next phyla it will be very difficult. So you all should learn 2 or 3 times regarding the scientific names. So Cycon is Scypha, Spongilla as well as Euspongia. Spongilla is also called as freshwater sponge. Freshwater sponge. Euspongia is also called as bath sponge. Which is the bath sponge? They will give you examples. Euspongia, Spongilla as well as Scyphon. Then you should say Euspongia means nothing but bath sponge. Spongilla is freshwater sponge. Cycon is Scypha. Remember the examples. All are regarding sponges only. So no need to get confusion. But Euspongia, the real name is bath sponge. Spongilla is freshwater sponge. They'll ask in me, what is the freshwater sponge which is present? So it is called as Spongilla. So this is about the phylum Porifera. Next we will go to the another phylum that is called as Ctenophora. Ctenophora as well as Ctenophora will come under Cnidarians only. Ctenophora as well as we see that one right with C. Coelentrates. They both will come under a specific one that is called as Ctenophora as well as they will come under Cnidarians. Okay. So be thorough with that. So the Ctenophora. Ctenophora means what? This will exhibit a special property. First we will go it in an order. They are marine organisms, sponges. These are also marine organisms. They live in water. Ctenophora. Next, when it comes to the next point, they exhibit tissue level of organization. Tissue level. As well as they are radially symmetrical animals. Radially symmetrical. Which are the organisms which exhibit this radially symmetrical as well as tissue level? They are nothing but Cnidarians. So Ctenophora will come under Cnidarians only. So they are marine, tissue level, radially symmetrical, diploblastic. Diploblastic. All these 3 points we have done earlier only. Ctenophora, Cnidarians, Everything they exhibit tissue level, radially symmetrical, diploblastic animals. You should be very thorough in this aspect. So we have done it. Same like them only, like sponges only. These are also hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites. That is, both male and female organs are present in the same image. Like this you should read as comparisons, so that will be very useful for you. When it comes to hermaphrodite, then sexes are not separate in them, they also exhibit. And these Ctenophora, because they are radially symmetrical animals, they exhibit ciliated comb plates. Ciliated comb plates. How many comb plates are present? Ciliated comb plates. That is 8 rows of ciliated comb plates are present. Here 8 rows are present for this Ctenophora. 8 rows of ciliated comb plates are present. So 8 rows of ciliated comb plates. What is the use of these comb plates? They play an important role in locomotion. As well as there is one specific feature about ctenophores, that is nothing but bioluminescence. Bioluminescence means what? They emit light. When you see them in the dark, they emit a small amount of light. So these exhibit a special property that is called as bioluminescence. Next, when you come to fertilization, fertilization is external fertilization. External fertilization. Next, the another specific feature about this is digestion. I'll write here. Digestion is extra and intracellular. Cnidarians, that is Ctenophora, as well as these coelentrates, they both exhibit a property that is called as digestion is both extracellular as well as intracellular. So you should be very clear regarding this aspect. So these, I'll tell you now, this is done. Very small phyla I have started because you won't get confusion. You should read it as differentiation so that you will easily remember regarding this. When you come to marine, these are marine organisms, ctenophore, simple, like that of sponges. Next is they exhibit tissue level. These also exhibit the property called as tissue level. When it comes to radially symmetrical, they exhibit cellular level of organization. These exhibit tissue level. We have done in before classifications only. Next, radially symmetrical, they are asymmetrical. These are diploblastic animals. Diploblastic. It's done till here. Same like sponges only, these are also hermaphrodites. Sponges exhibit a special property like osculum, ostia, choanocyte, spongiocele. Like this, they also exhibit a special property which is called as bioluminescence. Bioluminescence, that is, they emit, there will be for one phyla, there will be one specific feature. That specific feature only mostly they will ask in NEET. So regarding bioluminescence also, they'll ask you, they'll give you which phyla exhibit bioluminescence. They'll give you options. Then the answer is Ctenophora. Ctenophora exhibits the property called as bioluminescence, as well as they exhibit a special property that is called as 8 rows of ciliated comb plates are present. This ciliated comb plates play an important role in locomotion of the body. That is, they help in movement from one place to another. So they are called as, so this is the function of ciliated comb plates. When it comes to bioluminescence, they exhibit or they transmit light. So this is about the bioluminescence. As well as when it comes to digestion, digestion is both extracellular as well as intracellular. But for sponges, it is only intracellular. But for ctenophores as well as coelentrates, it is both extracellular and intracellular. The another specific feature is external fertilization. It exhibits a special property that is called as external fertilization. So external fertilization is by nothing but ctenophores. So this is about the small phyla, that is nothing but Ctenophora. The most common examples here given are Plurobranchia as well as Ctenoplana. Simple to remember. For sponges means it is Euspongia, Spongilla, freshwater sponge, like the numerous names we give. But for Ctenophora, it is like Ctenoplana. Ctenoplana means Cteno. You can remember the word like that. Ctenoplana will come under Cteno, as well as remember one word that is nothing but Plurobranchia. Plurobranchia as well as Ctenophora. This all is like remembering only zoology. Because maximum they will ask questions regarding your memory level only, they'll ask questions. Other topics like human digestive system, that all we can remember it in a logic. But here I am trying maximum to explain you regarding how easily you can remember. So just make some differentiations and you can easily remember. Whatever the points I write it in an order, just remember it in the same way. It will be very useful for you. So this is regarding till now what we have discussed. We have discussed about from the starting cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, their levels, diploblastic organisms, triploblastic. Then we have gone in detail regarding the symmetries. Then we have gone regarding the coeloms. For everything, examples are very important. Next we have gone through the two important phyla, that is nothing but Porifera as well as Ctenoplana. Ctenoplana or Ctenophora is nothing but this which is coming under Cnidarians. This will come under phylum Cnidaria. Another one also will come under Cnidaria, that is nothing but coelentrates. In the next, we are going to deal about the different types of phylum. So phyla, basically we have started with two types of phyla. That is phylum Porifera as well as phylum Ctenophora. So basically in the phylum Porifera, what we have to remember, that is they are mostly marine animals. Marine means they live mostly in water. The most common example which is given for the phylum Porifera is nothing but sponges. So phylum Porifera, mostly they are marine organisms. They live mostly in water. The second important point that you should remember regarding Porifera is they have central spongocoel that is present. Central cavity is present in them. That is nothing but spongocoel. Water enters into the body of the sponges through small minute pores which are present. They are nothing but they are called as ostia. And these water move out of the body of the sponges through osculum. You should remember here main points that water enters through ostia and water moves out through osculum. That is singular, plural. Ostia, numerous are present, small holes, and they are present on the full body. When it comes to osculum, they are very few and they transport water to outside of the body. Because marine organisms, they take in water and they transmit outside also water, both simultaneously takes place. So ostia as well as osculum. Next when you go, it is spongocoel. The water enters into the central body cavity, that is nothing but spongocoel. This spongiocele is lined inside by numerous cells. They are called as choanocytes. You all should remember these points very clearly because all are of these important for your NEET exam. Numerous questions were asked based on kingdom Animalia, as well as this animal kingdom. Basically it consists of some 5 marks they'll give for NEET exams. So you all should be very thorough regarding this. 5 marks and all 5 questions will be based on this. So it will be very useful. They may give from any side. Mostly they'll give about the different types of examples they'll give. So scientific names are also very important in this aspect. So I want you to learn clearly all the examples with their scientific names also. That's why I am saying it in an order. All other phylum also I'll tell it in an order so that you can easily remember. Later you should make a flow chart regarding each organism as well as you should each phyla. What are the differences? If you make, it will be very easy for you. So just make the different differences for each of them and then you can easily write down. So now I want you to see that a central body cavity that is called as spongiocele is present. Numerous choanocytes, they line the spongiocele. Water enters through ostia, moves out through osculum. So these are the different types which are present. They are marine organisms. Next, what we have done? We have done about the cellular level. It exhibits only sponges. Only sponges. Important point to be remembered. Only sponges exhibit the property that is called as cellular type of organization. Cellular type. That is, it is made of mostly cells. Here numerous cells are not organized to form tissues. Numerous cells are present and they exhibit cellular type of organization. When it comes to the next phyla, they exhibit tissue level of organization. Only one phylum which exhibits the cellular type of organization is nothing but the sponges. So the phylum is marine as well as cellular type of organization it exhibits. Next, numerous ostia are present. Water enters through ostia, moves out through osculum. A central body cavity which is called as a spongiocele is present. This spongiocele is lined by, they'll ask important NEET question. That is, it is lined by choanocytes which are present. Choanocytes. Next, cellular level. As well as these sponges are asymmetrical animals. Asymmetrical means what? They cannot be divided into 2 halves in any plane. That is, see, if we cut it like this, they were not identical to each other. That's why they are called as asymmetrical animals. Asymmetrical. Next, about the reproduction we will go. So these animals are basically hermaphrodites, that is both the male organs as well as female organs are present in the same individual. So that's why they are called as hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites. And they exhibit, I told you easily to remember, 3 eyes. Eyes means what? Letter I. That is, they exhibit internal fertilization as well as they exhibit indirect development as well as internal fertilization first. That is, fertilization takes place inside the body of the sponge. When it comes to development is also indirect development. That is, it will go through numerous larval stages. Direct development, directly new sponge is not produced. It will undergo indirect development, that is numerous stages will be present in the middle. So this is about the indirect development. Later, digestion is intracellular. It takes place inside the body. So digestion is also intracellular. I want you all to write it as numerous different points so that it will be very useful for you for NEET exam. I want you all to write down like each different single points, so it will be very useful for you. Phylum Porifera marine. First we are talking about its structure. What is the different structure? That is, first they are living in which place? That is marine. Then we are talking about the its shape. Then we are talking about which type of organization it belongs to. Then later symmetrical or asymmetrical. Then it is a hermaphrodite. That is, sexes are not separate. That is, both have similar type of organization. Next, internal development, indirect larval stage, indirect development, internal fertilization. 3 eyes, you can remember for this phyla like 3 eyes. All are inside the body only taking place. Internal, intracellular digestion, as well as indirect development means it is going through many larval stages. So this is about that. As well as body, it contains numerous body skeleton is made of spicules. The body skeleton is made of numerous spicules. Spicules means they are present on the sponges. Numerous fiber-like structures are present. So the body skeleton is made of spongin fibers or spicules. Spicules are also called as spongin fibers. So spongin fibers. Spicules are also called as spongin fibers. So that we will see. Intracellular, indirect, this, and they are made of spicules or spongin fibers. This point you should remember very clearly regarding that. So this is about the as well as hermaphrodite. These are the main points which are associated with the phylum Porifera. Once if you read, you won't get easily. You should practice 2 or 3 times. First I will tell in the class, I will repeat 2 times. Last lecture I have repeated, now also I am repeating. So we will 2 times you listen in the class itself. Later you should go and practice 2 or 3 times for easy remembrance for all of you. So I want you all to read very thoroughly. First go by these marine organisms, where they are living. Then which type of organization. Next, symmetry. Then about the any special features if they are present, like choanocytes are present. Spongiocele is the body cavity. Water enters through ostia, moves out through osculum. As well as next about the hermaphrodite, whether it is that development, which development it exhibits. Next, fertilization. Next which what we say, internal fertilization we should see. Intracellular, about the digestion process. Next, still more any special features are the body is covered by numerous spongin fibers or spicules we can say. So that is about that. Then later important point which you should remember is what is the use of this ostia. So they help in transportation of water. That is, water will be transported, as well as excretory products, excretion of waste, as well as for respiration also. These 3 important points, this ostia play an important role. What are the 3 functions of ostia? Important NEET question which is asked. What are the 3 important points of ostia? Means nothing but the first one is respiration. Second is digestion. As well as the third important point is excretion, as well as transportation of water. Transportation of water we already have done. So rest of the 3 is respiration, digestion and excretion. What are the important points that are related to of ostia? Means what are the 3 functions? Means you all should answer that: respiration, digestion as well as excretion. Those 3 points are very much important in NEET point of view. So this is about the phylum Porifera. What are the examples which we give for the phylum Porifera? Example is, one is Cycon. Cycon means nothing but Scypha. The original term is Scypha. Cycon, Scypha. The next important which you should remember is Spongilla. The third is Euspongia. Simply remember, sponges means Spongilla, Euspongia, Cycon, everything related to S. For Euspongia means you can easily identify. So this phylum, examples or scientific names is very easy for you in this aspect. So Cycon is Scypha. Spongilla is also called as freshwater sponge. Freshwater. Euspongia is also called as bath sponge. Which is the freshwater sponge? Mostly they won't ask, like they'll give you example like Euspongia exhibit a process that is called as, in that digestion is intracellular. They'll give you like assertion. Then it is true. They exhibit intracellular digestion only. Next they will say they are hermaphrodites. Like that they'll give you scientific names as well as examples. So that's why I am taking so much time and explaining for you regarding these different types of the sponges. I am clearly describing you about the phylum Porifera. So now we have done clearly about the phylum Porifera. So in the phylum Porifera, marine is important, as well as they exhibit 3 eyes. Remember, like that: indirect development, internal fertilization, as well as intracellular. Body is covered by numerous spongin fibers, that you can remember, as well as ostia, osculum. These are also very scientific. So the scientific names are important. Euspongia is also called as freshwater sponge, means it's the wrong answer. Euspongia is also called as bath sponge, or Spongilla is also called as freshwater sponge. Cycon is also called as Scypha. That's why 2-3 times you should read for easy remembrance. I have told you it in an easy way. So we are completed with phylum Porifera. Next we are going to see about the phylum Ctenophora. So in the phylum Ctenophora, same we will go in an order like that of sponges. So that is Porifera, that is phylum Ctenophora. Basically they are marine organisms, same feature, marine. The second important point is they exhibit 8 rows of ciliated comb plates. Suppose this is a Ctenophora. They have numerous cilia which are present. These are called as ciliated comb plates. Ciliated comb plates. How many they are present? They are about 8 rows. 8 rows of ciliated comb plates are present. 8 rows. Means what? 8 rows. What is the use of this ciliated? One phyla will have one specific feature, because all are different organisms. That's why they are classified under each phylum. They are separately classified. Why they are is to suppose these organisms which belong to one phyla, they all will have same features. So that way you can easily remember. Suppose in this only 2 organisms are present, which is given in your NEET textbook. So only 2 organisms, they exhibit all the similar properties. That's why there is differentiation and they are classified under different types of phyla. So they exhibit 8 rows of ciliated comb plates. What is the use of the ciliated comb plates? They play an important role in locomotion. Like how till now we have done for sponges, that ostia play an important role in transportation of water, digestion and all. How that plays for this 8 rows of ciliated comb plates also play an important role in locomotion. Because they should move from one place to another. So they have special features that is called as ciliated comb plates, which play an important role in locomotion. So that is about the phylum Ctenophora. As well as there is another specific feature of this, that is called as bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. Bioluminescence means what? By name only we can understand that bioluminescence means they emit large amount of light, that is from their body. Numerous amount of light is emitted from their body. So this property is called as bioluminescence because they transmit light. They transmit light. Suppose when you see a Ctenophora phylum organism, you will see it because it will vibrate in the dark. That is radiant. It is very radiant. Means it is able to transmit light. So that is about these are the two specific features which are associated with that of Ctenophora. Bioluminescence property is exhibited by which organisms? Important neat question. So bioluminescence is exhibited by Ctenophora, the phylum Ctenophora. So that is about the this phylum. Next, when we are going into this deeper, which organization it exhibits? I am going it in an order like that of sponges. They exhibit cellular level because this is the second phyla. They exhibit tissue level of organization. That is, numerous cells are organized to form tissues in the phylum that is called as Ctenophora. Tissue level. Sponges exhibit cellular level. These exhibit tissue level of organization. Next, tissue levels. The another point is sponges are asymmetrical animals, but these are called as radially symmetrical because if you divide them into numerous, you can divide them into two equal halves. In any plane you can divide them. That's why they are called as radially symmetrical. What are the examples? Before, when we are dealing about radially symmetrical animals, what are the examples which we have given related to radially symmetrical are? They can be divided into any plane, they can be divided into equal halves. So these are only ctenophores as well as coelentrates. These both exhibit the property that is called as radially symmetrical. So they are radially symmetrical animals. As well as from this phyla, they exhibit diploblastic or triploblastic. We should be able to differentiate. So these organisms are called as diploblastic animals. Diploblastic. Diploblastic is exhibited only by cnidarians, that is ctenophores as well as coelentrates. These two exhibit the property that is called as diploblastic. Means they have only two layers, ectoderm as well as endoderm. I am going slow so that you should be able to differentiate between sponges as well as the second phyla which is called as Ctenophora. So radially tissue level, radially symmetrical as well as diploblastic, all are done. Next, we are dealing about the fertilization. The fertilization is external fertilization. External fertilization. Only this phyla maximum, this phyla, rest other phyla again I will tell. For now, for the next three phyla, remember, only this phyla exhibits external fertilization. Which phylum exhibit external fertilization is ctenophores. That is, fertilization takes place outside the organism. For all others, they takes place inside, that is internal fertilization. Important neat question. Which phyla exhibit external fertilization? It is nothing but phylum Ctenophora. So that point you should clearly remember regarding that. The next point is same like sponges only. They are also hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites means what? Both the organs are present in the same individual. As well as next when we come. that is digestion. Digestion is both extra and intracellular. Extra and intracellular. As well as development is indirect development. Indirect development. So the examples which are given for this phyla are nothing but brachia as well as Ctenoplana. Plurobranchia and Ctenoplana are the two examples. Ctenoplana you can easily remember. Ctenophora, Ctenoplana you can easily remember like that. Another example which you should remember is, because this is all not logical, I want you to remember the names. It is Plurobranchia. Only these two organisms. Read 2 or 3 times, you can easily remember this. So this is about the main points that are regarding the phylum Ctenophora. So now you differentiate between the sponges as well as Ctenoplana. That is, they are marine, these are also marine. Next, what is the specific feature of them? They exhibit numerous spicules, spongin fibers. Those all are present, as well as ostia, osculum, spongocele and all. Here they have only 2, that is ciliated comb plates which help in locomotion is the specific feature. The another specific feature is bioluminescence, that is they help in transmitting light. Bioluminescence, ciliate. How many rows of ciliated comb plates are present? That is 8 rows of ciliated comb plates are present which help in locomotion. So this is about that. Then next, hermaphrodites. Both are hermaphrodites. They are cellular level of organization. This is tissue level of organization. Asymmetrical animals, radially symmetrical. And these are diploblastic, specific feature, diploblastic, radially symmetrical. Next, they have, those have which type of fertilization? They have all our eyes, I told you to remember. But here, that is external fertilization as well as they are extracellular and intracellular. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular, both type. Then next, it is indirect development. Indirect development is exhibited by them, same like that of sponges. External fertilization you should remember, as well as digestion is extra and intracellular, both it will take place. Now write the differences between these two major phylum. The examples which are given are, you see, if I say phylum Ctenophora, you all should get remembered of this diagram basically. If you remember this diagram, that is enough for you. You can easily, like for the next thing, you can easily remember. If I say about sponges, again you should remember the diagram. If you see the diagram, you will be able to remember all the points that will come here. So Plurobranchia as well as Ctenoplana. So that is done, phylum. The another phylum which is very important is nothing but phylum Coelenterata. So in this phylum, that is Coelenterata, the main thing here you should remember is these are also marine, as well as they are freshwater also. Freshwater. They are free swimming animals or sessile. Both type will be there. Marine, freshwater, free swimming, as well as sessile. Sessile. Both types they exhibit. Marine, freshwater, as well as free swimming and sessile. Both types. These are cnidarians. Cnidaria. So the next important feature is why they are called as cnidarians, because they have cnidaria which is present, that is cnidocytes. Cnidocytes are nothing but they are tentacles which are present on the body of the organism. Tentacles. So what is the use of this tentacles? I told you specific feature which you should remember for this. Tentacles, they help in capture of prey, capture of prey, as well as defense mechanism. Like how bioluminescence help in transmission of light, as well as the another specific feature is ciliated comb plates which help in locomotion for ctenophora. Like that, here also there should be some specific feature, right? That specific feature is nothing but they have cnidocytes on the body. What are these cnidocytes? Means tentacles, sharp structures. Suppose if you try to hunt the organism, then it can escape mode. Escape mode will be there. That is nothing but capture of prey. They help in defense mechanism of the body. These cnidocytes play important role in defense mechanism. They help in fighting against the different organisms, as well as smaller organisms also it should consume to live, right? So those, they help in capture of different smaller organisms. So this is about the main feature that is called as cnidocytes. As well as another specific feature is they have corals which are present. These corals also play an important role in defense mechanism of the body. But these corals are made of calcium carbonate crystals. Important neat question. Which organisms exhibit the coral or calcium carbonate? Body is made of corals, is nothing but coelentrates, that is Cnidaria. They have the specific feature which is made of calcium carbonate. Next, same way like that of ctenophora, they are also diploblastic. They are diploblastic. The second important thing that you should remember regarding this is they are radially symmetrical. The third important feature is diploblastic, radially symmetrical organisms, as well as they exhibit the another specific feature, that is nothing but digestion is both extra and intracellular. Extra and intracellular digestion. Both types of digestion is exhibited by this phyla. Marine freshwater, free swimming or sessile, cnidocytes, a specific feature like how for sponges that. Next for ctenophora, what is bioluminescence, as well as ciliated comb plates. Here also cnidocytes are present which help in, as well as corals. Next, diploblastic, radially symmetrical organisms. We know about that. As well as these also exhibit tissue level. Both the phyla which are classified under Cnidaria, same features, tissue level, diploblastic, radially symmetrical organisms. The next, digestion is both extracellular as well as intracellular. That point you should remember, extra as well as intra. The another important point which you should remember regarding the coelentrates is nothing but phylum. That is, they are classified under, one is sessile, that is polyps, as well as medusa. Polyps are sessile and cylindrical forms, whereas medusa, they are umbrella shaped organisms. These are freely moving. These are sessile and cylindrical. These are freely moving and umbrella shaped. The another specific feature that you should remember is for sessile as well as medusa forms, the another important thing you should remember is polyps are converted into medusa asexually. Medusa are converted into polyps sexually. So this is about the phylum Coelentrata, that is Cnidarians. The most common examples which you give is Gorgonia. that is sea pen, Gorgonia. Next, Pennatulata. This is sea pen, this is sea fan, okay? Gorgonia, Pennatulata, Physalia. Physalia is also called as Portuguese man of war. Portuguese man of war. Next it is Adamsia. Adamsia and Meandrina. These all, if you read for one time, you won't get these all. Be repeating it twice or thrice. So about the phylum Coelenterata also same like Ctenophora only. Radially symmetrical, diploblastic, marine or free swimming, freshwater or this, because these two classification is present. As well as next what we have seen, same specific feature is corals are present, cnidocytes are present, specific feature. Now I want you all to write the differentiation regarding these three differences you have to write. That is for first one is sponges, next one is for cnidarians, that is coelentrates as well as ctenophores. I want you all to make differences. Then digestion is both extra as well as intracellular digestion is present. Diploblastic, radially symmetrical, all is same. For the last two phyla, digestion is also same, extra and intracellular. Only one another specific feature that is related to coelentrates is polyp and medusa. Polyp is sessile and cylindrical forms, whereas medusa is free swimming, umbrella shaped. Polyp and medusa are classified under which phyla? Important neat question. Coelentrates, they are classified. Medusa, umbrella shaped, you should remember. Then different examples, these reproduce polyps into medusa, they are converted asexually, important. These are converted into polyps, medusa into polyps sexually, important. Gorgonia sea fan, Pennatula name pen, sea pen. Physalia, Portuguese man of war. Adamsia, Meandrina. Adamsia and Meandrina. So this is about the three different types of phyla. Next class we will see about the rest of the phyla like Platyhelminthes and all. Platyhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda we will see in the next class.